think the biggest thing we learned are teenagers are teenagers. It doesn't matter if they come from foster care or not.
Yeah.
They're going to have attitudes.
Yep.
They're going to be mean. They're going to hurt your feelings. I promise you that.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're different. Everyone's experience is completely different. The biggest thing I think I've learned, though, is everybody just wants to be normal.
Hello and welcome to All Things Foster, a place for coffee, connection, and community. Guys, I appreciate you tuning in today. We've got a great lady that's going to share her foster care experience, and so I'm super grateful to get to her. But before we do, I want to let you know that, every once in a while you meet someone who is just genuinely good people. And that's a friend of mine named Toby. Toby runs HVAC MD, and he served on our board for several years. After his board service ended, he has continued to show up for POCN in ways that most people will never know. In fact, he's repaired the air conditioner at our Moses Closet 3 different times and has never sent us a bill. He's donated both his time and his parts because he believes in what we're doing. When that should tell you kind of everything you need to know about Toby. But what he does is they provide residential and commercial heating and air conditioning services throughout the Texas Panhandle. Whether you need a repair, routine maintenance, a new system, or indoor quality air quality improvements, ductwork, or even a ductless mini split, their team is committed to doing the job right with honesty, integrity, and quality workmanship. They also offer 24/7 emergency services because when air conditioners break, it's never at a time when it's convenient. So the next time your air conditioner quits in the middle of a Texas summer, or your heater decides to take the winter off, give my friend Toby a call at HVAC MD. Their number is 806-676-8308. And make sure to tell him that you heard about him on All Things Foster, and thank him for supporting foster families across the Panhandle. Well, guys, say hello and welcome to Miranda. Miranda, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about you, Miranda. What do you do?
Yeah, I am actually the marketer for a hospice company.
Okay.
So we provide, it's actually a Christian-based company. So we provide hospice care in the hardest times of people's life as they're getting close to passing and provide that spiritual care for them as well.
Yeah, I've a friend's dad that does chaplain work for an organization like that. And we're actually going through that right now. My wife's mom is she's got pretty bad cancer, and so it's pretty much just making sure she's comfortable at this point. So those are really important services. I appreciate the work you do for that. Well, what does your hubby do?
He works out at Pantex.
Okay. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it. So aside from fostering, tell us about your life. I mean, how many kiddos you got? What does life look like maybe prior to fostering?
So I'll say prior to fostering because our family looks very much different.
No doubt.
So originally I met my husband when he was active duty military. And so our lives have been very different. We've moved from several bases, and about 4 or 5 years ago, he decided he was going to get out of the military and kind of look for some more stability.
Yeah.
And so we moved up here to Amarillo from Fort Hood and kind of found our little home here, got our jobs here, settled up, and have a really fantastic group of friends.
How in the world did you end up in Amarillo from Fort Hood? Did you just throw a dart, see where it lands?
It's the craziest. I can't even explain this. I think it must be a God thing.
Yeah.
Because so he had this mandatory thing with the military where you have to attend a certain amount of job fairs. So he calls me as he's leaving a job fair, and he's like, well, there was nothing there. I'm about to leave. And so he's like, hang on 1 second. I was like, what? He's like, I'll call you right back. So he hangs up. He had ran into the recruiter from Pantex. So he worked a 24-hour shift, the on-call ones, and then had to go test in the morning.
Wow.
So he had to go do that and do some testing in the morning, which he ended up passing. So the day he actually got out of the military,
went straight in.
Started at Pantex. So we drove overnight to start here and
wow,
kind of just found our own little groove here.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah, like you say, it's definitely a God thing. If he's like, "No, I'm out of here," and then that
Turns
opens
around.
up. So yeah, that's awesome. And so often it takes a long time to get set up to go work. My daughter works out there, and it was a 6-8 month process to get to work out there.
I think it's normally pretty intensive to just get past HR.
Yeah. So
he had this weird thing of running into the recruiter, testing the next day, and I don't know. I guess we were just meant to be here.
There you go. That's I think that's kind of the way that that tends to work.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you've got kind of a good core group of folks here that are really supportive, right?
Yeah, we do. So my husband has a team of guys that he works with, and through them I've met the spouses and have some of my best friends that I've met through there. And so they were kind of one of the biggest factors of us going into foster care was the big supporting group, the non-judgment of the bad days in foster care that we've all had. They're just somebody that you can talk to about anything.
Love that.
And you never feel judged.
That's awesome, because so often, it feels like a silo, right? Where just nobody understands, that you're isolated and stuff like that. So it's just wonderful that you have that experience.
Yeah, before we started foster care, I've actually never met another foster parent.
Wow.
So it is pretty isolating. So what you guys do in the different organizations here, from networking and meeting other people, are so important. For sure.
Yeah, I say this all the time, but we can't, I can't walk through life well with someone that's going through leukemia, right? That's not my lived experience.
Yeah.
And so I can support them and I can care for them and help them, but I can't really connect with them fully on their experience. Yeah. And so it is isolating to where it's like, man, nobody understands what I'm going through and stuff. And that's a big part of the reason for the podcast, is we wanted to build community around foster families. So I love that you've got that support.
Yeah, and the biggest thing I think that was most isolating for us in foster care is us taking teens.
Yeah.
So our kids, when we got them, that's the first thing they asked. They'd both been in previous foster homes where they would advertise it. So these are my foster kids. These kids are foster, or they were just always made to feel that title, whether it be going to get your backpacks that are pre-picked out for you or stuff like that. So our goal when we got our kids was to make sure they never felt any different than a normal teenager would.
Yeah. So take us back. What happened? You said you'd never met another foster family. How in the world do you end up getting licensed?
So our journey kind of begins with church. So we were kind of still looking for more of a community here in Amarillo. So we started attending Life Church here. And from there, we heard a couple sermons and we felt like maybe they were talking to us. Maybe this is our message. We had been talking about it at least 5 years before.
Wow.
And we just never felt we were right time. I guess it's kind of like having a baby. You want everything to be perfect before you do it.
Sure.
I promise you, nothing has to be perfect. That's the biggest lesson we learned. So once we had made that decision, we got in contact with some foster agencies here, which we didn't know the difference between agencies, what we were looking for. Kind of went in blind. Yeah. And then we went on to, they have like a big meeting that you get on before you start. And so I think there was about 45 to 50 families in the room. Right. And so it's just a Zoom meeting and everyone's talking and they go around the room. What do you want? Oh, I want a baby. Next one. Oh, I want 5 and under. And then they got to us and we're like, no, we want teenagers. We want somebody that just needs support, somebody that needs somebody to show up to their games. We're looking for a different experience than I think most people do.
No doubt. Absolutely. So what was it about the teens that really kind of drew you guys to them?
So as a family, I'd say we're pretty active.
Yeah.
So it's really important for me personally to go on a random vacation on a weekend, to go swimming somewhere or go snowboarding and go spend the weekend at a cabin. I'm not saying we're traveling all the time, but I don't want to have to change our lifestyles. I think that's the biggest thing. We wanted to maintain the lifestyle that we're used to living we didn't want to change our son's lifestyle that he's used to. But also we wanted him to have that connection with brothers and sisters where they could go do things together.
Sure.
So a little different.
Yeah. And that's what drew you to the teenagers, because you didn't want diapers anymore.
No.
You didn't want bottles and burp rags and all that stuff. You wanted just a kiddo that you could love and that could really kind of connect in with your family and be able to do those things. I loved how you talked about wanting, somebody that wants there to be somebody at their game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just foster kiddos they just crave just normal life,
Yeah. I feel like that's the biggest thing. Like I know people want babies. Everybody wants that first experience.
Mm-hmm.
They want the first steps and the first words and the first everythings. But you get that in a different way with teenagers.
Sure.
So I got to experience my daughter's first dance in high school. I got to go take pictures with their moms. I didn't know what a mom was, so I had to do some research on that.
Yeah.
We've done first car. My son just got his first car. So we're having those terrifying first experiences of driving with him. It's just different. You get, I think, more satisfaction with the older kids than you do the younger kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the growth that's like the biggest thing I've seen. So our kids, when we first got them, we're crazy shut down.
Yeah.
Like very shut down people. Very little emotions, very quiet, shy. I know they say the first month they're all sweet and innocent, but just to watch their growth has been crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's better than the little ones.
Yeah.
Because you see them grow into little humans that are going to go out into the world and do great things.
So you talked about your tribe. Were they like shocked when you came to them and was like, hey, we want to do this foster thing?
Actually, weirdly enough, no.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we got any of that judgment that I feel like most people get.
Yeah.
Of, I don't want my kids around them. I don't want that. So the day my son got home, and I think maybe this was a bad idea, but we had a welcome thing. We brought all of our friends and family and brought them all around so they could all meet him, because we got him before we got the other two.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a cool experience to watch everybody take him in, and everybody wants to get to know him.
Mm.
And even when we had his first birthday party, because we didn't have him very long before his first birthday party with us, my husband's friends, the entire group of guys, showed up for him, so he had people there to support him.
Oh, I love that.
It was a really cool experience for him.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you can just picture it like all these people are here for me, right? When their experience has not been anything like that. So I love that. So talk to us about the licensing process. What was that like for you guys?
I feel like ours took a long time, but I don't know what normal is
Mm-hmm.
because we don't really know anyone else that got licensed.
Yeah.
So we started the process, and I think the first steps you take is filling out the application.
Yeah.
Going on that little Zoom meeting where you get to hear about foster care and what it kind of looks like. And then the fingerprints, the background check, the doctor's visits. You have to have everything in line to go ahead and get started.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I think I did like hundreds of hours of
That's
training
what
on
yeah.
different topics and learning what foster care looks like, what the kids' experiences may be like, and kind of learning to get our home in order. So we didn't have the rooms furnished before we started this.
Mm-hmm.
They were just 2 extra rooms that we never used. It was actually a lot of fun getting the rooms ready.
Oh, sure.
I didn't know who was coming. I didn't know how to decorate it, but we just threw it together.
Gender neutral colors.
It was all white.
Yeah.
Everything was
Right.
basic. They could make their decisions
There
once
you
they
go.
came.
Yeah. So you said a long time, like 6 to 8
No,
months.
I would say 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months. Okay. That's actually pretty quick.
Yeah, it
3
was
to 4
about
months.
3 to 4 months, but I think we really pushed it.
Oh, yeah.
We made sure our stuff was done, our
Yeah.
training was done, our CPR was done. We knew we wanted to push it because I think we got licensed in July, and we knew we wanted a placement before school started.
Sure. So talk to us about that that call for the first placement.
Ours wasn't a call. So we got a little, I know you've seen them at the Heart Gallery, where you get like those little photos.
Yeah.
So we got that with a description of the kids. And so we read it, and I was like, oh, I don't know. We only wanted one to start, so I don't know, maybe 3's too much. And so we thought about it, and I got their paperwork, and we reviewed it, and I still felt like, yes, I think this is the right kids for us. And then we had, our next steps was a Zoom meeting with their caseworker.
Right.
To kind of find out what behaviors are going on, information on kind of what they like. We learned like what sports they like, who they kind of are as people, and kind of got a little information. After that call, they said to send an email if we're still interested. And so we sent it instantly.
Yeah.
We didn't even wait like 3 seconds, sent it out. And then we sent a lookbook, what our home looks like, what our family looks like.
Yeah.
And they took that to the kids and showed it to them.
Right.
So ours was a little bit different, I think, than the usual place.
Yeah. So your goal from the outset was foster to adopt.
Yes.
Okay. That, yeah. Well, definitely pursuing the teenagers from that aspect is, so, wow. So you sent this lookbook, and then what happens?
So our journey was a little different. So our kids were separated, and our son was separated from his sisters for over a year.
Yeah.
So he was at a RTC.
Right.
So we met him first. So nobody told us what an RTC was. We had no idea what we were doing. We didn't know if we were going to someone's house. We didn't know where we were going.
Show up at this address.
It was an address on a piece of paper.
Wow.
And so I'm like, okay, I guess we were this far. Might as well keep going.
Yeah.
So we drove out to where he was, and we got there, and there's barbed wire outside.
Right.
And it's a scary building.
Yeah, for sure.
So we go there, and they're like, okay, you're going to go take him out for lunch and meet him. And I was like, okay. I was really, really nervous after this
because,
experience.
like I say, like, again, so many people don't know, RTC is like the step between like a group home type situation and then juvie.
Yes.
Right? It's like that.
It's a locked
in
unit.
between, yeah.
The kids go to school there. They eat their meals there.
Yeah.
They live there.
Yeah.
They're even limited on how much clothes they can use. The bathrooms are locked. You have to ask to use the restroom there. It's just very, very locked down.
Very rigid, yeah.
So, and it's because the higher level of kids there, but my son wasn't placed there because of behaviors or anything.
Right.
He was placed there because placing a he was 14 at the time, a 14-year-old male here in Amarillo or in the Panhandle is almost impossible.
Right.
So it was either go to a locked unit and be closer to your sisters or move to Houston. Those were his two options. And so he took being in lockdown to stay close to his sisters.
Wow.
So it was his choice, but I don't think it really was his choice.
Right. Yeah, it's like choose between two impossible things. Wow.
And it's just sad because males are so hard to place here for some reason.
Yeah. I think there's just a lot of fear. And I think that's not just in regards to like a teenage boy. It's the whole, there's just so much fear of what if, right? It's a lot higher with a teen boy.
Well, so when we first got
Not for you guys, but for the general fostering community.
Especially when you're new to it. So we didn't know how this process looks. So this random white van pulls up in our driveway, and he's in there, and he's got one little suitcase.
Yeah.
And it's like this beat up little suitcase. And so they bring him into the house, and they sit you down. They read you the rule book. You can't keep debit cards out because he might steal it. You can't keep alcohol unlocked because he might drink it. Like stuff like that. So it even scares you more.
Right.
You're like, what did I just get into?
Yeah.
Because they didn't tell me anything like this.
Yeah.
And so now you have this kid in your home, and now you've just been scared.
Yeah, sure.
So it was really scary. And I'm like, wait, how do I enroll him in school? What do I do?
Right.
I don't know any of that.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like it was a very blind experience.
Uh-huh.
So we had him for the first month.
Yeah.
Before we started meeting his sister. So it gave him that time to
acclimate a little bit.
decompress, and because I've never fostered any other kids, so my experience maybe is not as good as anyone else's, but I've never seen a kid so shut down in my life.
Mm.
So when he came into our home, he looked terrified.
Sure.
Like somebody had scared him. He didn't want to speak. He didn't want to do anything wrong because he was so scared to go back.
Oh, wow.
So that experience was different.
So talk to us about that first. They're reading you this rule book, but they leave. The van leaves.
Yeah.
What happens? I mean, are you...
The caseworker comes over and you sign a ton of paperwork. So he's saying you're basically legally responsible, blah, blah, blah. They drop off this binder full of his school stuff, his records, stuff like that. And they say, okay, well, we'll see you on your next visit. And so you're like, okay, now what do we say? What do we do? How do we introduce ourselves to a kid that we've met for an hour?
Yeah.
And do we show him the room? Do we offer him a shot? Like, there's a lot of you don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
So first day, just kind of got him settled into his room, showed him around the house. And this is the funny experience with fostering. So I wake up in the morning to take my son to school, my other son. And so he's so quiet. He just keeps popping up out of nowhere. I open the fridge, I close the fridge, and he's standing there, just standing there. I'm like, you got to stop doing that. I'm in the dryer grabbing clothes out in the morning, and he's just standing there, ready to go. He's like, when do I go to school? I'm like, we got to enroll you. It's not done yet.
Yeah, right.
But I think the first week kept popping up on me and scaring me randomly around the house because you're just not used to that extra person there. And he was so anxious that he didn't know if he should sleep in, should he be up, should he be getting ready? And we didn't know either. Yeah. So we're both looking at each other like, what do we do here?
Yeah.
It was unique.
Yeah. You mentioned that there was like a party for him, right?
So once we got him, I think about the first weekend. So we invited all of our friends and family over to our house and did like a big cookout for him. They all brought their kids over, so he had teenagers his age to kind of get to know before he went to school. Yeah. It was just a really good, everybody was so excited to meet him. And I guess maybe that's not the greatest idea in foster care, to just bring everybody over and meet him right away. But we were excited.
Yeah, sure.
We wanted everyone to meet him. So he came over. He had so much fun. I've never thought a 14-year-old would be out on the trampoline jumping for hours. Yeah. He was. Yeah. And so it was a good first experience. It was the first time we kind of saw any of his personality. Yeah. Because before that, he's been pretty quiet.
Sure. Yeah, well, like you said, if he's been in an RTC and he's not there because of issues, and then, I mean, it's just extremely regimented. I mean,
I think that was our biggest hurdle, was the bathroom. He would come out and say, can I use the bathroom? Yeah. I'm like, go, it's open. Yeah. And then he was like, well, that's because it's locked at the other place. You have to ask to go to the bathroom. Right. And so I'd say the first month, everything was a question. Sure. Can I have a drink? Can I have a snack? Can I eat dinner? Can I have a second plate of dinner? So I think that was really confusing as a parent, that my kid just goes in the fridge and grabs a snack whenever he wants.
Yeah, sure.
So just kind of learning that that's probably not the norm in all homes.
For sure, for sure. Wow. So then you get the girls.
Yeah, so it goes about a month, and we start visitations with the girls. Okay. So they wanted to give him a month to kind of settle in. Sure. So we started doing FaceTime visits with them. Okay. And so we met them a couple times over FaceTime. And then from there, they started coming to spend weekends. Awesome. So I think we did a month. I think a month of them coming over on weekends. Yeah. Making sure they were comfortable, going to his football games with the girls, so they got that experience, and letting them meet our son. Yeah. So we had a 10-year-old. He was 8 at the time. And so it was good for him to get to, he's always been an only child. Yeah. So it's going from an only child to big brothers and big sisters to a full house that's always loud and messy. And it's just a different experience. So after that, they finally moved in on Halloween.
Wow. And what was that? I mean, how was that? Were they a little more comfortable than he was when they came?
Yeah. Girls are not shy at all. They were loud. They were having fun. And it's the first time in 2 years they've lived with their brother.
Oh, my gosh.
So it was
He was
like,
at the RTC for 2 years?
yeah, just about.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So he was excited. They were excited.
For sure.
It was a lot of staying up till 2 a.m. watching movies and spending a lot of time on the couch together. And we learned the girls were really good at volleyball and playing like baseball, softball, football. I think we played every sport.
Yeah, sure.
It was just a lot of connecting. And then my son Bryson was just so excited to have somebody to follow around.
No.
So he was kind of following all of them around, trying to build that connection.
Yeah. Wow. God, 2 years. That is just. Whew.
Can you imagine if we didn't get him? He would still be there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because the likelihood of a teen boy getting adopted, especially out of an RTC, is.
I think it's a 1% chance.
Yeah.
Is what I saw online. For teens to get adopted that are in a sibling group, it's a 1% chance.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very low. Wow. Is there anything looking back you're like, man, I wish I had known this or that?
I think there was a lot of things I wish I would have done differently. I think some of the biggest things is maybe just on parenting side. Because we got the kids phones right away. And he hadn't had a phone in 2 years. So I felt so guilty. I'm like, we got to get this kid a phone so he can talk to his sisters. And I feel like I wish we would have been more controlling on phones.
Right.
But we're also young. And so when the kids are like, well, what apps can we have? I don't know. What apps can you have? You tell me.
Wow. Yeah. So was there, going through the licensing process, did you feel like there was adequate preparation for like training on trauma and how to help with that? Or
I feel like they do train on trauma, but I don't feel like it's realistic to what life looks like. So yeah, there's a ton of training on TBRI and different activities like that, but they put these kids in your home with no physicians, no doctors that you know to put them at. They don't tell you which therapist to go to.
Right.
I don't know how you navigate that when you don't work in the healthcare field. The only reason I was able to navigate it was because I know people.
Yeah.
And reaching out and being like, this is what I'm looking for. I need somebody that takes Medicaid. I need somebody that can get them in quickly. I need a dentist. I need everything.
Yeah. Because nobody wants to take Medicaid.
Exactly.
I mean, and I get it. I mean, my wife's a dental hygienist, and so I mean, most of the offices that she's worked at over the years, they're not interested in taking Medicaid because it is such a hassle.
And even on that, if they could just be in the right direction, I think I would have had a better experience.
Yeah.
But it's moving the kids from out of town too, because neither of them lived in town, and their doctors were over an hour to an hour and a half away.
Yeah. Were the girls together?
They were.
Okay.
Yeah, but they were still over an hour and a half away.
Right.
So it was just redoing all of their medical stuff. I didn't know how to fill out med logs when I first started.
Yeah.
I kind of just made those up as I went. There was training on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I paid attention during that part. Because
you're thrown a
inundated.
lot of information. Yeah, you're drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning curve. When you get your first placement, it's a learning curve. But we were weirdly lucky. Our social worker was extremely hands-on.
Oh, that's good.
So we had a really great experience with her. I could call her and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through. What do I do?
Yeah.
And she would be like, okay, do you want me to come over?
Oh, wow.
And so we were very spoiled.
For sure. Yeah, because that's not everybody.
Yeah, that's for sure.
How long do you think it took to kind of so he's there for a month, the girls come. How long do you think it took to establish kind of a rhythm of what life looks like?
So we had 4 kids at 4 different schools.
Oh my gosh.
And so pickups and drop-offs at school were like awful. I was barely making it every day to get all 4 of them to 4 different schools.
Yeah.
So it took me at least, I'd say, a month or 2 to get everything settled in, figured out. At this time, nobody was doing sports or anything, so it was pretty easy in the beginning. I think our schedules are actually more hectic now than they were back then.
Yeah. And so talk to us a little bit about just the generic being licensed part, right? You talked about the med forms. What's a med form?
So the medication logs are due monthly.
Mm-hmm.
You have to fill out a log per medication.
Yeah.
So I don't care if it's a Tylenol that you give your kid because they have a headache. I have to report that.
Yep.
If it's prescription medication, I have to make sure it's filled out completely. I have to have doctor's orders before I can give those meds to them.
Yeah.
And so it's just making sure that every physical thing, even if it's a Zyrtec, that is documented.
Yeah. Document.
Yes.
Scrape on your knee. Document.
Yeah.
Because that's,
Incident
I mean,
reports.
you just got the med reports, right? And then there's other stuff. So what's something else they have to fill out?
We have to do behavior logs.
Yeah.
And so coming out of an RTC, you're a higher level.
Yeah.
So your visits are more frequent. Your behavior logs are more frequent. There's a lot of paperwork that you have to do along with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to report daily on his behaviors and how he was feeling. And it was so weird to write down all good every day. And so I really was probably a terrible person for doing it, but I would just write all good on almost every sheet because it's just crazy the amount of documenting you have to do.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. They, the state is, they're trying real hard to make sure that the folks that they give kids to are safe and stable and things like that. And, sadly, there's a reason why everybody, all the warning labels, right? There's a reason why those warning labels are on there. It's usually because somebody did something they weren't supposed to do. And so
that's kind of the funny thing about getting licensed with teens. That's a little different. Is we all know like the laundry soap and stuff needs to be put up out of reach. Well, my kids are taller than me. So if I put it out of reach, I'm not reaching. I'm going to have to get them to pull it down. Just silly things like that you don't think of that are on the rules, like having locks and stuff on the doors and making sure, like we have a lock on our cabinet for our chemicals.
Yeah.
And medications have to be locked up. So I can't tell a normal teenager, go take a Tylenol when you have a headache. No, I have to go get that and hand that to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just funny things like that.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about funny things. Like I had my two boys that were 1 and 3, and I had to create an evacuation map.
Yeah,
and then I had to mount it down low where the 1-year-old could read it. And it was like, are you serious?
The fire drills are my favorite part.
You're right, yeah.
So you do have to do a fire drill every like 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
And we had to also call the fire marshal out to the house to check like your carbon monoxide, your fire, everything. But they came out in the truck. So they came out in the full-on truck. So all of our neighbors are coming outside
like,
to see
oh my
why
God,
they're
what's
there.
going on?
That was funny. It was really fun.
That's cool. So let's talk about the teenagers aspect. So what do you think that you have like learned from the experience of having teenagers that have been in foster care?
I think the biggest thing we learned are teenagers are teenagers. It doesn't matter if they come from foster care or not.
Yeah.
They're going to have attitudes.
Yep.
They're going to be mean. They're going to hurt your feelings. I promise you that.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're different. Everyone's experience is completely different. The biggest thing I think I've learned though is everybody just wants to be normal.
Yeah.
And they want to be treated normal. And I feel like that's the biggest thing I see in foster care is we don't treat them normal.
Yeah.
And so I've made it a mission, my husband's made it a mission, that if their friends come over to stay the night, we put up the foster care stuff.
Yeah.
We have their pictures on our wall.
Yeah.
So they're in our family photos.
Yeah.
So you're not walking into this house thinking, who are these kids and why are their photos not up?
Right.
Why does your family have family photos that you're not in?
Huh.
We've made it very, very clear. Like, we get some weird looks because obviously our kids don't always fit, but I don't explain it. I let people sit in the awkward.
Yeah.
You can tell they have that question, but you're not going to answer it.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest thing with teens is you might have some embarrassment at times because they're teenagers. They might be mean, but it has nothing to do with their foster care background.
Yeah.
They are just regular teenagers.
Yeah. They've just been through a really rough situation.
Yeah. And I think by the time they get to teenagers and foster care, they just want to hang out with their friends and they just want to go places and they want to have sleepovers and they just want to do things that everyone else does.
Yeah, sure. how are they different? Do you think people assume? Which I think you kind of answered that, but do you have anything to add to that?
I think people just assume that when you get foster kids that they are going to be more shut down or they're going to have more behaviors, or I think people mistake normal teen behaviors for bad behaviors because of foster care. Because it doesn't, teens are teens. Just like toddlers are going to be toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say it's just because of their foster care experience. It's just who they are as kids.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing is we over-report as foster parents because you're told, report everything, report behaviors.
Yeah.
But where does that build the trust with the kids?
Mm-hmm.
If every time their social worker comes over and they throw an attitude that I'm throwing them under the bus.
Right.
So I feel like that's a big thing that we saw. And it was really important for my son to build trust with him because of his RTC experience.
Sure.
I feel like the first time I yelled at him for failing a class, he cried.
Mm.
And I was like, what did I do?
Yeah.
I didn't think I was that mean. And it was more that fear that, oh my gosh, are they going to send me back? Are they going to not want me?
Right.
And I feel like that's what we experienced more than anything was fear mistaken as behaviors.
Yeah, love that. Fear mistaken as behaviors. Yeah, we, well, yeah. What do you think they're most hungry for, like, emotionally?
I would say they're all different. So I would say our oldest one, he wanted friends.
Yeah.
He was so desperate to find his group and where he fit in this world and what he wanted to do. So for him, it was really big when he got into boxing. So he started finding confidence in boxing and finding his friend group in boxing. And so for him, it was just learning who he is. Yeah. And I think we're still on that journey. I don't think we're anywhere near the end of that. But I feel like he's learning who he wants to be when he grows up and who he wants to be as a man. Because you're asked the same questions in foster care every time the social worker comes. What do you want to do when you grow up? What are you this? And they kind of become robotic.
Yeah.
The answers become the same answers.
Yeah.
So with him, it was finding his friend group. I think for our youngest daughter, for her biggest thing is, what does a family look like? What is a stable family? She had never had a mom. Right. So it was figuring out, who am I? What do I believe? Yeah. And how do I make it in this teenage world? Because starting in middle school is hard, especially being brand new.
Yeah. What mistakes do you think adults make with teens in foster care?
I feel like I had a lot of prejudgments. And because of my training, because of the TVRI and learning all this, I feel like some parts of me came in too clinical on some of the stuff. Like, oh, they should be doing this and they should be feeling that. They're humans. Yeah. They're not robots. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing I had to learn is, yes, you can follow all the rules that they give you, but that's not what they need. They need realness. They need to know when they're in trouble. They need to know what's right and wrong. Yeah. And they have to also learn that in the system, I feel like they're very controlled. Yeah. So who do you want to be when you grow up? Not who everybody else is telling you you're going to be. Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of that.
So there's having some agency.
Yeah. Let them make their own decisions. Yeah. That was my biggest pet peeve when the social worker would come over. Don't talk to me about how he's doing. Go talk to him. Yeah. How am I supposed to clarify his feelings when I'm not the one feeling them? How am I supposed to answer for him when it's not my feelings or for her? Yeah. If she made that mistake, let her answer. Yeah. And I think that was really hard for our kids in the beginning because they would look at us for everything. Look at us to order their food at the restaurant. Or they would look at us to figure stuff out. And I'm like, you got to figure things out on your own. Yeah. You got to make your mistakes. You got to make your own friends. I can't do it all for you.
Yeah. How important do you think it is just showing up consistently for them?
I think it's extremely important. And this is something kind of we learned with their sports. So our kids were never really in sports. Really weren't allowed in the previous home. Right. And so because it takes time, it takes money, it takes things that most people don't have. So our thing was, and sometimes we go a little overboard with our kids. So if they say, I want to wrestle, I will find every single wrestling club that's out there.
Yeah.
I'll make sure they go to every wrestling camp. That we try to give them everything and beyond and make sure they've got everything they need. I show up to their wrestling camps or the boxing fights. I don't care if I've had 4 hours of sleep or not.
Yeah.
It's really showing them that they're individual people, that you're there to support them, that even with birthday parties, like making sure we didn't even know our kids very long before we had all 3 of their birthday parties coming up.
Yeah.
And it was just making sure that people were there.
Yeah.
They didn't have that friend group yet. Yeah. So we brought our own friends to the party and made sure they were there. They just want somebody that they know is going to keep showing up even when they're mean.
Yeah.
When they're being teenagers, when things are hard. Because it's going to get hard at some point.
No doubt.
You have to keep showing up. And they're not proving anything to you. You're proving to them that you're going to stay.
Yeah.
And that's kind of rare in foster care, that you are willing to fight through things.
Yeah, willing to stay. Because they've been reinforced over and over and over and over and over that people don't stay.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're so wounded and so guarded that it takes a lot of work of consistently showing up in order for them to really begin to believe that you're going to stay.
Yeah, was a weird experience. So we took my son to his first day of school at middle school at the time. And I think he called me 12 times from the school that day. You're going to pick me up, right? You're going to come. You'll be there. Well, where do I meet you? I'm like, I don't know. I will be outside. I will find you in the crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going to be because I've never been to this middle school before, but I'll find you.
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later, hey, I'm just double checking you'll be there tonight. And that was the biggest shock. Like, yes, I'll be there. You don't have to keep calling. I'll be there. I promise. And I didn't really connect in the beginning. I was like, well, that was an odd conversation.
Yeah.
But then I kind of started to realize maybe he really didn't think I was going to be there to pick him up. So just consistency is key.
Yeah, for sure. So if someone's thinking about fostering and they're thinking about teenagers, what do you tell them?
I would tell them it's good and bad. There's a lot of benefits to it. Every day is not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Please don't go into it with rainbows and sunshine and think everything's going to be great.
Yeah.
They're humans like everybody else. But man, when you have those fun days, they're really fun. Doing things that they've never tried before. Doing or getting to see them make their first catch or wrestling for the first time or doing a sport there is so much rewarding things in the small things that it's the overall picture when you're looking at it was like, wow, this has been really great.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing about having teens, if you have other kids, was watching my son, who is an only child, get to have big brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And watching them do stupid TikTok dances and fight over who did what chore and just get a normal childhood experience that I don't think he would have had otherwise.
Yeah. I love that. So you guys have adopted, right?
We have.
And so what was the road leading up to? I mean, I know that you'd said that was the end goal from the beginning was to adopt, right? What was that journey like to get to court?
I think your hand gestures say it all. So technically by law, after 6 months, you're able to adopt.
Right.
I don't know about you guys, but I am not ready to make that decision after 6 months.
Sure.
I don't even know you well enough to make that decision. It's like asking you to marry somebody that you barely know.
Yeah.
So it's a huge journey. And I can't ask to adopt kids without their consent on the adoption.
Yeah.
And it's 10 times harder with teenagers. I'm not adopting kids that don't remember their parents. I'm not adopting kids that don't have family members that they still communicate. It's a different experience and you have to get their input on it.
Yeah, sure.
So we had growing pains along the way.
Yeah.
I promise you, this was not an easy road. But yet again, it's just consistency. So we've been on this journey and it took us about 2 years total to get to adoption.
Sure.
And it was really working through more of the issues that they had gotten in foster care and learning to be normal kids again and learning to have a normal life. And that's when we finally got to the point that we were ready to adopt. So we put in our paperwork, and they came over and explained to us kind of how the process worked, what it looked like afterwards. We had a lawyer here in town, Bill Hamker, helped us.
Yeah, he does a lot.
And he was so amazing. And Lori, his receptionist, was great help. They walked us through the journey. They showed up on adoption day. I think we had probably 20, maybe 30 people in the room on adoption day. And so the Bill asked, which one of you guys are going to be talking? I'm like, not me. Nope, he can do it. I know I'm going to end up crying in here. So he's going to be the main speaker and put that on my husband to do. And so we did the adoption. It took about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was the quickest, easiest process. I expected it to be this big thing, and it really wasn't.
Yeah, it's almost a formality. I mean, it has to go before a judge, but if you've gotten to that point, all the boxes have been checked.
Yeah. And it was cool to see these social workers that have been with them for years come and be able to experience with them, because they finished out with the same social worker that brought them into the system and has been with them all those years. That's
incredible.
It was very rewarding to have these people surrounding. My family came in. I had my dad fly in from Michigan. We just had a crazy amount of support in this. And the courtroom was all ours that day. We were the only ones up there. And so quick in and out process. And it almost feels like that was it.
Yeah.
So you have this huge lead up to, well, that was easy.
Yeah. Do you guys celebrate Adoption Day?
We haven't had our first year yet.
Oh, okay.
We will not.
No.
So our kids have never been foster kids. They've never been treated like foster kids. We did not call them that. They called us mom and dad, I think, literally maybe 60 days in. It was way quicker than I expected. And so, no, they've always been ours.
Yeah.
I guess maybe we should celebrate it, but why? They've always been ours.
Right. I think different people decide differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think everybody does things kind of their own way. So
yeah, I feel like ours was more, we just didn't tell anyone, so it never was this big thing.
Yeah, sure. So how has this process changed you?
I feel like I'm completely different than when I started the process.
Fair.
I feel like I've aged 100 years during the process. Your life completely changes.
Yeah.
You have somebody in your home every month that's in your home inspecting it. You stay a lot cleaner, I promise you that. It's a different experience. Now I have new kids in my home, and they live there, and even just the shape of our day is different. We had a lot of downtime in our day, and it was pretty quiet in our house because it was just usually me and my son at the house if my husband was at work. So our house was pretty quiet. It's not quiet anymore.
Yeah, no doubt.
No doubt. Just slight changes, but changes for the better.
Yeah. What do you think the hardest part of this whole journey has been?
I feel like the hardest part for me personally was learning different personalities and what they need. So I am very northern. I am very to the point. You're never going to guess what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
And so I guess it kind of comes off harsh in the beginning.
Yeah,
and so
sure.
That was a learning curve. And I have a daughter that is a hugger. She loves to touch your hair, hug you, hold you. And I am like the furthest thing from. And so that was a big thing with us, was like learning each other's boundaries.
Sure.
And so now we have it like set up where they're like always trying to come hug me. And I'm like, okay, you got 10 seconds. Give me a quick one. And then we can move on.
Yeah.
And so it just, you change who you are. You change your lifestyle. I don't think I've ever prayed more in my life during this process.
Yeah.
Because it was so hard.
Yeah.
But looking back, it feels like it was so easy. And I know that's crazy to say, but once you finish it and you see the light at the end of the tunnel and no more social workers in the home or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, this is great.
Yeah. Yeah. You can take a breath and like, breathe a little bit and not be super stressed out and worried who's going to come over at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
And, got to make sure there's no dishes in the sink or whatever. Yeah. So, what do you think foster care has taught you about yourself?
It has definitely taught me that I need to be more flexible. So I'm pretty stringent on a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I like my schedule. I like it done the way it is. The kids hate my schedule. I have a calendar on the wall that if it is on the calendar, it does not exist and it's not getting done.
Yep.
So that doesn't work. So we've had to learn to be a little bit more flexible at times, but I also had to be more strict as a parent because I'm so used to just being two of us. So if we make a mess, we clean our mess.
Sure.
When there's 5 of us now, that mess adds up pretty quickly.
For sure.
So just learning to set boundaries for myself, set household rules, especially with teenagers. I had no idea what rules to give them. Sometimes even with punishments, I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here.
Yeah.
So just figuring it out one day at a time.
Yeah. How has it changed your marriage?
I think this was, if you are not stable in a marriage, do not do foster care.
Exactly.
It is everything. There's so many times we had to tag off, especially when one kid is being really bad or you going through behaviors or psych issues or anything like that. You have to tag off mentally.
Yeah.
So we would look at each other and be like, you're going to have to handle this.
Yeah.
I need a break.
Yeah.
And so you really do need to rely on each other for everything. And so you have to be strong or else it will take your marriage down. Because looking back, we're like, how did we do this? This is this is wild, but honestly, it's made us 10 times stronger.
Sure.
It's helped us learn to communicate better. It's helped us learn to parent together because we didn't have to come to make decisions when we have one.
Yeah.
It wasn't the end of the world if we did something. It's a little different when there's more.
Yeah, for sure. How do you think it's changed your faith?
I think it's definitely challenged my faith along the way.
Yeah. I can see that.
I'm just being as honest as I can with this. There is going to be tough times. And I kept thinking to myself, you told me to do this. Why is it so hard?
Right.
It should be all rainbows and butterflies, but it's not. So I feel like I've been really tested along the way. But my prayer life has never been better.
Right.
Because you don't have a choice. When things get hard, you either pray or you're going to fall apart.
Yeah. Wow. So what is the favorite family tradition that you guys do? It's like, this is kind of who we are. What do you think?
I think something that's really grown on us is we do the snowboarding trips every year. And so we pick a mountain. It doesn't have to be anywhere big, even if it's just Sippapoo, that's a couple hours away.
Yeah.
And then we'll go up there and go spend a day or two snowboarding. So they've all connected on that because they've all gotten really good at snowboarding. I still can't get off the bunny hill. So I think that's our biggest connecting factor. What's really important to us also during this journey was making sure family dinners. Just at one point in the day to kind of meet. And with the kids too, when they came in, they were used to praying with dinner. And that wasn't something we did before.
Yeah.
And so they kind of started that tradition for us.
Let's see.
And then we have another weird tradition. So with Christmas, instead of doing this huge gifts on Christmas of things that they're never going to want again,
right,
we let them pick out one activity that they want to do. And it can be anything. So my youngest, we flew out to Cleveland, Ohio, to go ahead and take him to a football game. The oldest two wanted to go to an NBA Youngboy concert. So I drove out to Oklahoma City, walked them to the door, let them go to the concert, and then met them back at the door after the concert. And so they all get to pick. I'd rather have memories than things.
Yeah.
And so we made it a mission. Yeah, we still open presents on Christmas. It's just, I'd rather you have those memories at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Than the things that you might not need.
Mm, that's really cool. What is one thing that your kids do that just always makes you smile?
It's different for each kid.
Yeah.
It's completely different. So the youngest two, it's their connection. It is, you could not tell me they were not born as brother and sister.
Yeah.
They fight like brother and sister. They do their little dances together. They will die on that hill to protect each other. And so their connection is just one thing that makes me smile because they're so intertwined, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I feel like with my son, my oldest son, I feel like when I just get that little nugget out of him, he doesn't give you much, but every once in a while he'll come out with something, or he'll come and talk to you randomly, or you don't get much out of the teenagers, but every once in a while he'll surprise you and come sit on the couch and watch a movie with you.
Yeah.
You got to take the small things there.
Sure. Okay, so final question. If someone listening today has been thinking about fostering, but they're scared, talk to them.
I feel like the biggest thing is stop waiting for the perfect time. Your home doesn't have to be perfect. Your finances don't have to be perfect. Life does not have to be perfect. I would say if you're thinking about it, I'd rather you do it. And maybe it's not the right decision for you, but at least you can say you tried.
Yeah.
But it's not as scary as it seems.
Yeah.
It's a lot of jumping through hoops and doing it, but at the end of the day, the reward that you get from it is worth it.
That's awesome. Well, Miranda, thank you so much for sharing today, for coming. And, it's kind of a little apprehensive thing. Come sit in this office and talk about this stuff. But I love that you're just open and kind of genuine and talking about your experiences. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure to catch us on the next Tuesday when we drop our next episode. It's going to be really, really good. I'm excited for that. If you have HVAC issues, definitely call Toby over at HVAC MD. Good friend, does great work, and like I said, he's a great supporter for us. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next week.